Welcome to my next video, and today it is something we've been all waiting for. It's my new setup, or I hope you've been waiting for it. And I'm gonna show you the room, where it's gonna be, and you're gonna go through the whole process with me. So let's go. Guys, are you ready? This is gonna be my new setup room. And this is what it currently looks like. There is a lot of clutter I still have to get rid of, but I wanted to show you anyway because it is kind of the process of everything. I definitely want to keep this and also this big part, but I only want to get rid of these waves. I don't know what it's called, but I just don't like those. I'm gonna be removing the last part of it because otherwise the room looks a bit too small, and I also want to probably put my setup in there. Look at the beautiful window and look at the wonderful view of the mountain. There are some cool tables made out of wood, this one and also this one under this, so I'm definitely gonna keep them. So this is the room, and let's get rid of everything. This is some of the trash I've gathered from this room, but the issue is that there was definitely a cat here because there is cat hair everywhere and I'm getting crazy allergic reactions.
Okay, so what you can actually see here is us trying to remove the tapestries, but we figured out that there are 2 layers of tapestry and then paint on top of those, and the paint wasn't even supposed to go onto the walls, so it's water resistant. So when we tried to spray the tapestries, it was a real struggle to get them down, and we had to put one layer after the other down so that we can get to the next layer, and so on and so on. So we basically had to get rid of the first paint, then of the first tapestry, and then of the second tapestry. So we did the room like 3 times. It was fairly easy to get rid of the tapestry at the bottom, but it became very difficult at the top. I did not even film this because I was so exhausted and it literally took days.
Fast forward to a few days later, this is what my setup looks like. I sit there on the chair, and here is my PC. It's crazy uncomfortable because the table is actually very low, so I don't even get the chair underneath the table, but there is like no reason to take my normal chair because that one is even higher and doesn't fit under the table, and I don't have another table. So yeah, I'm trying to wait until everything gets better and until the room is finished so that I can put my table in there, but it is pain. I've been sitting here for 8 hours yesterday, and my posture was very bad and my back did hurt like crazy, so I don't recommend. It doesn't seem to be healthy. This is what this room currently looks like. So as you can see, or I don't know if you can see, but if you look closer, you can see, or I hope you can see, this doesn't work. There are 2 layers of the tapestry, and then there's a color on top. So we have to kind of spray it with water twice because at first you only get the layer with the color and the first tapestry down, and then you have to spray it again to get like the last piece of paper away. So it takes longer than expected. Here I'm in the room. There is a window in front of me, which is great for this room, and that's why I want to have my setup somewhere here. But the thing was that my setup is not as big, and I was thinking about what to do with this wall unit. I don't know what to call it. And it was very difficult to decide because these things cost a fortune. But I was like, when you enter the room, you want to see the setup, and you don't want to see this, so I don't want your eyes to be on that. I want your eyes to be on my setup, and I felt like my setup would look very little if it would be standing beside this, and that's what I was aiming for because I want to get as much light as possible from the window, so I don't have to use as many soft boxes, and everything will look a little bit more lighter, more softer, and so on. So I decided to get rid of it. And what I aimed for it, you can see here, I tried to get to the wood. Yeah, it is definitely possible to get to the wood. This was just me trying to rip it off with like this scratch paper. So yeah, it would be possible, and I decided not to do it because it would take an eternity, and there are these waves, and I definitely wanted to get rid of the waves, and that would be just a lot of work, and there's a lot of detailing everywhere on this, so I just decided to let it go and just get something different for the room.
Here is a final look at the cabinet. We tried to disassemble it, and we did, but it took several hours to do.
Actually, a few weeks went by because we did not really have time for the room, but as you can see, the cabinet or the wall thing is now almost gone, and we found this. So not sure what we're gonna do with that, but it needs to be sorted. And this is a look on the other side.
Here you can see us how we're taking away all the furniture and the disassembled wall unit.
Approximately 5 hours later, and still not done. My gloves soaked in paint, and my fingers are literally wet. Actually wanted to say that I'm sitting here and enjoying my coffee while the tapestry is being moved away out of the room because there is so much dust in the house. But the weather is not playing nice with me, and it's so windy, so it's actually pretty cold to sit here and wait, but it doesn't matter. It should get ready soon, and we should be ready to paint the room, so exciting.
Here you can see what the room looked like when we got rid of all the scrapped tapestry.
We have just prepared the walls for paint, and meanwhile we have to wait till it dries out and till we can paint tomorrow. I'm gonna go pick up some packages with my dad, and one of the packages is actually a huge sofa which I'll have in my office, and I'm looking forward because it looks kind of like a bed slash kind of like a sofa, so I'm super excited. It was super comfy when I tried it out in the store, and I just had to get it, so let's get it. Morning the next day. All the holes here are filled and the walls are prepped for paint. Okay, so a few days have passed, actually a few weeks have passed since we have started with this room. But the thing is, if you're full-time employed somewhere and you want to do things on your own, then you simply have to come home and start doing these things. And honestly, you don't have as much time after work and as much energy, and it is all just totally exhausting, and sometimes you gotta do other things and not renovate the room. So this is how things went, and now I'm gonna show you what it looks like currently. So here we are. This is with the wide lens, and here you can see the walls. They're now straightened and they need to be brushed and prepared for the paint. So basically the only things which need to get done here is to brush the walls, to paint the walls, and then it's time for the flooring. And the flooring will be brushed as well, because that's wood. I forgot to tell you, oh, the light is really bad here. I'm gonna show you. So here's the window, and this is basically a wall which is going to the garden. And this is also a wall which is into the garden. So we also want to use paint, which is kind of like isolating, so that we may not lose as much warmth from within. So we'll see how that goes. And then of course, finally, time for the paint.
Here you can see what it looked like when we applied the thermal paint to the two walls which were facing the garden.
So the first layer of paint is on the wall, but now I'm going through with this brush, with a little brush, because there's some places where it is not totally straight, and I want to add a little layer before we put on the second coat so that it doesn't look that rough. Show you what I'm basically doing, if it will focus. Yeah, you can see here's the fresh paint. So I'm just trying to like make the wall as flat as possible, because there are still places where it isn't flat, and I don't know how to show you. Wait, here you can see, look. So I'm trying to cover these places, so when the second layer of paint goes on, it won't look this way, but it will be hopefully as flat as possible. One more video. Here is what it looked like before, and here is what it looks like now. It's looking much better, and maybe when the second coat comes on, it will look even better. Maybe not as noticeable as now, because honestly, like, having something like this on the wall would just get on my nerves, because I'm such a perfectionist and I just wouldn't be able to live with it. Yeah. So, well, I'm officially out of paint, but I feel like it could look good once it dries out. Look, I really tried to get everything well.
I waited for the paint to dry out, so my mom came over and we planted some flowers and some herbs so that the terrace would look better.
Here we are the next day. We did not want to paint it yesterday because the light here is not as good, and even if I would put my studio lights in here, they would still make shadows, so it just wouldn't make sense to paint the walls when there is not normal sunlight. As you can see, it's pretty bright here, and that's why we did it today early in the morning. But there is an issue. As you can see, this is fresh paint, so don't worry. But the issue is that the wall was very structured in the back, and it still makes shadows. So this is not like, it's not black or anything, but those are just shadows. So we'll see what we can do with that, because when I come near it, you can actually see that it's just white paint. It's not black whatsoever, but it makes these shadows when you come from the side. So yeah, these are struggles I did not know before. But the thing is that my setup is gonna be somewhere here. So when I'll be sitting exactly here, then I'll look to the left and I'll see these smudges, or we'll see how it looks like, but basically it looks like this here, under here. So I don't know. I hope we can fix it somehow, because I'm not really happy about this. But otherwise, the walls turned out great after my paint yesterday, so it's not as bad at all when you come near it. We also want to do the flooring today. Basically rip off the carpet, and then try to, I don't know what it's called, but like brush the wood that's underneath and change the color a bit. So we'll see how it goes too. I've chosen a very pretty color, so I hope it will live up to my expectations and look great. The issue I have here is that I bought this huge couch, which I wanted to put somewhere here. But the thing is, it's so huge. It has 2 meters 40. It's 2 meters 40 long. And I want to put my setup in there. So the setup has like, I believe it's about 90 centimeters. And then there's the chair, and I need to move forward with the chair. And the couch would be like from here to here. And I feel like that's too much, honestly. So I was thinking about putting it a bit diagonally here, but I would lose so much space in the back. So I'm still not sure how I'm gonna do it. And then I thought about like putting it here, because there is enough space for it. Because here there's a double door, so you don't have to open this side, so you would just keep it closed or whatever, so it wouldn't look that bad if the couch would be here. But the thing is, there is the radiator, and that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to cover a radiator with a couch. So then there's the option to put it there. I don't know. There would be enough space, but I don't know if I'd like it to have a couch there and a setup there. I was thinking about having bookshelves with my Lego and stuff there, and then my setup here, then the couch here, and then some drawers here. So difficult. Down here is the big sofa, the big couch. Here is my desktop, by the way. And you can see how huge it is. And this should go into the room, so yeah, we'll see what it looks like. It was my dream couch. It's so comfortable, and it would just solve my problem of just working from the chair behind my desktop, because I could do some stuff on the couch with my iPad, basically the stuff which I could do there. You will see what it turns out, but I'm pretty scared now. And here you can finally see the parquets underneath. I'd like to make them maybe a bit more red and maybe a bit less yellow, because I'm really not a fan of this yellowish color. I like the color which is on the top here. So if we could get it to a different color, that would be great. I just cleaned the window here from the paint, and we'll need to clean them and get them brushed now. Okay, now the carpet is gone, and as you can see, they probably had a carpet here before, which was smaller or something, because the color is different from all the other tiles.
We tried to sand the parquets with two devices. One was the one we brushed the walls with, and the other one was borrowed from my dad. That was the one on the left. But it just didn't work, and we needed to lend a big one from Obi, so we got that one, and then we sanded it down with that. But then we saw that we do not come to the edges, so we needed to land another one so we can go to the edges. And another thing was that the parquets were not straight, of course, so it was really hard to sand them down, as you can see.
Okay, so the sanders, it is going quite well now with the one that we borrowed, but the floor is very uneven, of course, so we kind of have to straighten it out, so it takes a little bit longer than it should. And I really hope that will be like really the last step which goes wrong, because obviously we expected everything to go a lot quicker than it went, so it is a bit scary, I would say. It is a bit sad, and I'm very impatient right now, because of course when you're working a month from basically dining table or makeup table or whatever, then it simply sucks, because you're still waiting for your setup to get ready, and you're still like, yeah, it's gonna be in the next few days. So yeah, but it probably won't be in the next few days, because I still have to wait until the oil which is going on top of the parquets will dry out, so that I can put furniture on it. But I really hope that this is coming to a happy end, and that I'll be happy. I already ordered a carpet which is gonna go underneath my setup, so that I don't destroy the parquets, and it's gonna look pretty. So I hope that one will come soon, and see you when the parquets are ready.
This is the look of the parquets when they were sanded, and don't even try to tell me that I should have left them this way and I should have just used normal wax on top of it. I decided to use wax with gray oil, and it was just a disaster. You'll see soon. I found a table at IKEA for €6 I could use underneath my desktop, so that I would have more space on my desk. And here you can see we used sparmas I found. I don't know if it's called like that, but you can basically see we tried to fill in the holes between the pieces of wood. And this is the last time you can see the parquets looking beautiful as this, because now we're gonna totally destroy them.
As you can see, it's another day, and the sealing of the parquets took way longer than expected, of course. So yeah, we didn't manage to wax them yesterday, and we're gonna wax them today. We're just bringing back the sander because we thought that we were gonna have them, the smaller sander, for like the whole next day, but unfortunately only until 10 a.m. so we had to drive back to Bratislava and give it back, and now we drive back home and we we will finally wax the parquets. We had enough of problems no one prepared us for, so it basically took 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks, which might not be an issue, but it's different if it's a room you don't need and if it's a room you desperately need and you think that it's gonna be ready the next day, then the next day, the next day, and everything is just pushed.
Here we're putting on the wax with the oil and just don't ask questions.
So the first layer is on top of it and I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
I called my father and he had the great idea to use toluene on the parquet to get the color back. And do I need to say more?
I'm honestly so done. The windows are wide open and well, breathing toluene here. Anyway, it looks much better. Here it is very hard to catch on the camera, but it is actually more red than it looks like. So when you come close, it is very pretty. Still doesn't look as red as in real life, but as you can see here, you can already see the wood, so that's nice. But when you look over here, it's still too gray here, so this is what it should look like, and this is what it looks like.
We used all the toluene we had at home, so we had to buy some more bottles at 9 p.m. I guess. And the next day we were totally trashed, like I wanted to vomit, I had crazy headaches, so just don't do this at home. At this point I just wanted to use clear wax to put it on top of it so that it would look as pretty as you saw in the last frames. But now my father decided that it would be great to put on the gray oil with wax again, and it would definitely not look as bad as before. Oh yes, it does look pretty bad. So you can guess what happened. We put the gray oil on top of it, this time with a cloth, but it still looks horrible.
I have a lot of things to say because we decided to wax the parquets after they were sanded. But the issue with wax is that it is matte, and when something is matte, then it is very easy to see where things went wrong. And as the parquets are from these tiny pieces and all of those tiny pieces have some holes in them or some scratches, then the wax goes into those scratches and it is very, very gray now, and it just looks messy. Even though we tried our hardest to make it look beautiful, it just didn't work out. So we're now gonna try to polish it and hopefully it won't look as bad, but I would probably never do this again. I really thought it would be something very simple, just using the wax and put it on top of it, maybe polish it then, and it would be just beautiful. But no, I feel like whenever you're trying to change the color and you have such tiny pieces of wood which aren't new, which are already a bit destroyed, then it is a really bad idea to try to change the color a bit. So honestly, if I would be able to take the time back, I of course don't want to like sand it down again. But you can, because you cannot do it like forever. But what I wanted to say is that I would never do it again. So yeah, the way it will look like, it's probably not the way I imagined it, but that's life, and we learn from our own mistakes. So maybe you can learn from ours.
Here we tried to put clear wax on a small piece of the wood to see what it would look like, and then decided to put it on the whole floor. It looks worse on video than in real life, but I'm not gonna pretend that it looks good.
You can see it looks basically the same everywhere you look. And what the color looks like is this. So here's my walking pad, here's my table. Finally, yeah, I won't comment on the floor. I just don't like it, but we'll see what I can do about it. But I don't have time to do it now, so we'll see later. So the table is here, and here's my walking pad. And already I feel like the room is kind of small. I don't know. But the reason why I have it here because I want to push it forward and then backward because I don't want to be like standing the whole time. So I need to do this. And then here should be the couch somewhere. And here's some storage. We'll see how it goes because I feel like now it looks a bit too small for all the furniture I want to have here. So I'm already in the process of moving things. As you can see, I already made my little Lego and Harry Potter collection, also a Witcher book, and there is some Lego on top of there. And here's my couch, and here I'm currently setting up my PC. Okay, OMG, I turned on the PC. And it looks like everything works, so that's kind of nice. If you're wondering what that is, those are two 6-0 lag tables stacked and glued to each other so that the PC could be a little bit higher up because I already had no space on the desk. So this is what it currently looks like when I turn off the lights. I still haven't done much in this room, so sorry for that, but it takes a lot of time to do everything and I still don't know what it should look like in the end, so I don't know. I'm gonna get some, I already got bookshelves from IKEA. Those are gonna go somewhere here, and this is gonna go to the trash tomorrow. Here's gonna be a carpet, and I was thinking about getting a larger table. That should be like an L shape probably, so that I can unbox something there and also have my PC somewhere there so that it doesn't have to be on my table, because when the PC was on my table it took so much space. Like, you can already see that now I have so much more space also for mouse movement. If I just give this to the back, now I can kind of move my mouse comfortably so I can play some games. And then the PC is here for now. Isn't this amazing? This is what dreams are made of, I'm telling you. Of course, it's been a few days since I have last talked to you guys because we had some friends over. But look at this, there's my new cabinet, and I'll have exactly the same one next to it so that it will look much more like sophisticated, maybe a little bit more expensive. And it will have like a little bit of a feeling to it because when it stands alone like this, it doesn't look that good. But I'm gonna show you something. Here is finally my setup. Don't think anything about the cable management because I have to figure it out. And I'm still not sure whether I want to have the setup like this or whether I don't want like a bigger table or something. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. I'll figure it out. I'm still waiting for some more things. I'm waiting until I can put the carpet underneath the setup, and what else? Yeah, for the wardrobe to be assembled, and then I'm actually done. Feels crazy. It's been over 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks, but finally we're coming to an end and I'm very happy about it. I think that it looks great, and I finally have my own space where I can have my lights positioned wherever I want and I don't really have to like put them away. The first day I'm actually spending here and working from my setup, which feels amazing to have 2 monitors again, to have my PC turned on finally after a month because I did not want to unpack it. And yeah, that's it. So let's wait for the carpet. I put the carpet there yesterday. The color does not look that gray. It's more of a cappuccino color. Yeah, here are gonna be my lights and everything. And here is the second cabinet, and I know it's pretty empty because I don't have that much stuff from the small flat I lived in, but I want to put my Harry Potter stuff there and some programming stuff and some gaming stuff and basically some of my Lego. So this is what it currently looks like. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's been a journey, as you could see, and I'm finally in my happy place. So I hope that it'll stay like this for the longest period of time possible. If you like my content and if you would like to see more of my daily struggles of the tech I review and so on, then I'll be more than happy if you would subscribe to my channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what I could do better, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys!